The community leaders and government are still locked in talks in the trouble-torn Maluti-a-Phofung in Qwaqwa. The meeting is trying to quell violent service delivery protests in that area. Residents took to the streets on Monday over water shortages. Their anger over the ongoing water problem boiled over after 8-year-old Mosa Mbele drowned while fetching water from a local river at the weekend. SABC News reporter Aphumelele Mdlalane joins us now for the latest. So Aphumelele, let's just first start with the state of the meeting. Does it seem like there's any prospect of at least the deadlock being broken, some understanding between the community and government members?
So during an open discussion where media was invited to be part of, we could see a sense of course, wanting to come up with the solution to this matter. As you mentioned, that all the stakeholders, including the Maluti-a-Phofung community leader, did give his demands, of course, representing the community, saying that what they want is an immediate solution to this. As we know, the problem of water in this area, it's almost 10 years this situation has been dire like this, and residents on the ground, as we've been monitoring also around Maluti-a-Phofung, which is a Gastel, and also here in Qwaqwa, we can feel the anger, also saying that they won't back down. This has been happening for quite some time, and also saying that there's allegations that also the Georgia tanks that have been provided to supply water by the municipality are not enough and are not reaching all the areas. And also we could hear when Deputy Minister of Water and Sanitation David Mahlobo was giving his speech, he did mention that the ANC have failed this municipality. Now it's about time there should be solutions, because now residents are bearing the brunt, talking to the stakeholders, of course. Until then, now it's a closed session whereby we don't know how far are they in terms of resolving this matter. But the community is still angry, roads remain barricaded, and it's quite a dire situation. We must also understand that this has also affected healthcare services. As I reported earlier on, that the healthcare services, that's where we saw that patients are fetching water. It's a dire situation also there, even the shortage of staff due to this shutdown that is currently happening. It is a dire situation for everyone, also businesses. There's been looting that has been taking place. We've seen criminal elements also being involved in this matter of shutdowning here, and also the school has been disrupted. As we've seen since Monday, there hasn't been any schooling, so it's a matter of having to come up with an amicable solution so that we can see an improvement, at least so that we can see what is now gonna be happening. But for now, as I can tell you, residents remain angry, but they are hopeful that this might give, of course, a resolution. Also, they are calling for the current mayor to step down, saying that they've been failed and they have lost hope. We must understand that this municipality is under administration, and the current mayor was chosen when there were by-elections, of course, that also took place in late August. That's where now we thought that we would maybe see some change when it comes to services, but we still hear on the ground that the residents, the community of Maluti-a-Phofung is not happy at all. What they want is resolutions, and resolutions here we're speaking specifically about a consistent running water in their taps.
All right, Aphumelele, I must ask you this question. You spoke about the fact that the protests continue, and according to reports, they are spreading to other parts of the Free State. But in an interview with our earlier sister program, you also spoke about 2 deaths. So we obviously know these protests were largely sparked by Mosa's death. Tell us about the second death that you mentioned.
Let me just correct you right there, Tapiso. Mosa died on Saturday and the protest started on Monday. So I might really say that the protest then to be intensified to this extent, it was of course sparked by that. But today, with the incident that we were in just earlier on, it's a different nature. It's not related to a shutdown, but also the community in that area are saying that the trench where this 16-year-old boy drowned and also the man who was trying to rescue, who is 36, also drowned. They've been complaining to the municipality that it should be closed down, saying that that's not the first time such incident has occurred. They're saying that their complaints have been falling on deaf ears, and what they want also, they are saying the situation now is getting out of hand, saying that the services are not being provided by this municipality and they do not know now where to turn their back, and also saying that they've been seeing different ministers coming and trying to address this issue, because the issue of water is more than 10 years now, but they've never seen any kind of improvement. They seem to be hopeful though with this closed session that is taking place, because they're saying that they also affected, like I did mention, that the healthcare services are closed down. Also others are worried that they might lose their jobs, because there are people who are working outside Maluti-a-Phofung, who are working outside Qwaqwa, but they are unable to go as it is a standstill in this area.
I want to talk about those health services and what alternative plans are being made, especially at Mufumahadi Munapo Mupedi Hospital, because we understand that they've also scaled down on inpatients for casualty, ICU, including maternity. So where will those patients be redirected? Is there alternative plans that are at least being told to the community they can make use of?
So when we talked to the CEO, Balekile Mzangwa, he did mention that unfortunately a healthcare service can never be closed down. They should continue to soldier on with the little that they have. But the latest now, we know that since they needed a supply of medication, that was one of the major challenges yesterday, where patients were released, others were unable to be given medication, because we are told that a pharmacist couldn't make it to the hospital due to the ongoing protest that is currently happening in the area. But also with the situation of water, he did say that they are of course appreciating the little that they are given by the municipality, but it is a dire situation. Like we saw that the patients have to go themselves to fetch water. Also the staff trying to help and fetch water for those patients who are unable, but the situation remains dire. It's just partially the services that they are giving at the moment, given the current situation. We will have to at least have to monitor also that also tomorrow, and just to see what is the conclusion on that matter, because the CEO did say that they will try by all means to address all the critical issues, but unfortunately we could see the people who were on the ground helping in the hospital were student nurses, student doctors. There was no even a doctor on site due to this current protest that is happening.
All right, so just a quick and final question, Apumelele. We know that the taps ran dry, at least in the latest phase in December, and that is due to an outstanding bill of 4 billion rand. Is the provincial government saying anything on how to service the debt, but also ensure that it provides accessible, safe water supply?
What we've heard so far is that they will try by all means to provide more JoJo tanks, and this meeting is trying to address even the long-term plans so that there can be infrastructure in place, because we know that Maluti-a-Phofung is surrounded by many dams but not being able to supply water to the community. We will have to, of course, talk to the government so that we can understand the figures, of course, the money that will be used, and also the project. When you're talking about the terms as to when these projects when will they start the projects and when will they finish. But now we know that an immediate intervention is that they want to increase these JoJo tanks that are supplying water in the community of Qwaqwa, Castell and Harry Smith.
Thank you very much for that, the latest update on those talks taking place between stakeholders in Qwaqwa following those violent protests which seem to be spreading in the Free State, especially around the issue of water.